Good evening, everybody. I totally haven't been sitting on that ending screen for the last several minutes. Just goes to show when it rains, it pours. But yes, thank you all for joining me tonight. Before we get started, as always, I'd like to give a shout out to the lovely music we've been listening to during pre-stream. This is Dreamer by Declan DP, and the other screen had Arcade by Declan DP. Whoopsie, I was on the wrong screen. But yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Wherever it is in your part of the world, I am Deuscain, your variety type streamer for the night. And I've had a busy day, in case that wasn't obvious. If you follow me on Twitter, you would have seen that apartment maintenance stopped by pretty much right before stream was going to start, as they're trying to unclog something in my tub in the bathroom. And they're going to have to come back tomorrow and probably like rip a panel off the wall and dig in there to take care of whatever godforsaken thing is blocking it, because they had it fixed and then it just immediately closed up on them and they're like, oh no, this isn't good. But I am in good spirits today. We are going to be returning to Ambition, A Minute in Power, the Revolution era management style game that we were playing on Sunday, French Revolution era management style game. In our first episode, we came to Paris to meet our fiancé, who wasn't there to meet us, and we went to his home and he wasn't there, and his staff is like, oh, by the way, pay us please, we need money, and also the landlord's upset with you. So we're going to parties, we're collecting gossip, both salacious and incredibly mid and mild and really bottom tier gossip. And we're selling it to a newspaper to make a little bit of money so we can keep affording our nice home. It's a silly game, but someone has wronged us, you see, and we are ready to revenge ourselves upon them.
Okay.
So let me get the game started up. We will hop in and get this revenge train going, because I think we're real close to being able... Oh, that is not what I want. There we go, now it's fixed. That's weird that it does that. Anyway, let's switch us over to full screen. And there, the game audio looks good. Actually, that's my save. Continue. Yes, good. So, we are having our big fancy revenge party here. We've declined all invitations the day before, so we are fully rested for this. I've got today, tomorrow, and the day after that to do stuff. What do I have for my wardrobe? This one's not doing great. Probably got a bunch of money. I don't think I have any. I do have gossip to sell, so I could sell that and invest in a dress. Oh, the crown's getting stronger. Good. Let's take care of those filthy revolutionaries. Oh, hey, there's a party here on the 1st. For the bourgeois. Yes. Accept. Also, apparently I am in a great deal of peril. I need to pull that stat down a little bit more. Okay, the game will go no later than New Year's Eve. I did not think it would go that far, though. Yeah. Elizabeth favor, Ludovico favor, credibility. This is stuff about our fiancé. This is a place to get some gossip between parties. We have 2 levels of exhaustion which we need to fix. get. I will obtain more peril. Come across your own maid of all works, who seems to be in a bit of trouble. I had a couple of days. You know what? Let's go here. I want to see what this is. Spend the day rushing through the city, exploring the neighborhood near the marketplace. The air is pungent. Rush of scents of crisp vegetables, fresh fruit, to less than fresh fish. Your ears suddenly perk up with the sound of a familiar voice, and you start slipping through the crowd in its direction. You stumble upon Camille, her arms full with a basket of the day's groceries. However, she's been stopped by a watchman of the Goutte Royale, one of the famous archers. He's berating Camille in the middle of the street. Where did you get those? He demands, gesturing to all of her groceries. Claw? Well, monsieur, you saw me buy these. I got them over there, she says, pointing in the direction of a market stall. I saw no such thing, he says, blistering at the suggestion that he could be paying attention to his surroundings. Where's your receipt? Camille's eyes dart side to side. She turns her feet away from him. Something about this line of questioning is making her very uncomfortable. I never get receipts, monsieur. What? That's ridiculous. Why not? Well, I can't. You're going to have to give me a very good reason not to haul you away. Yeah, no. I want to stand up for her. Or cost money. Or credibility. I'll pay him. I have money to spare. Slipping between the watchman and Camille, you stealthily slip a few coins into his outstretched hand. He glances down, and immediately his mood changes for the better. No surprise. You have paid 5 lira. Oh, I'm glad to be of help, he says with an enormous grin as he tips his hat to you. Now, if you fine ladies may excuse me, I need to find more citizens in need of public service. He shuffles off into the crowd, leaving you and Camille alone. Ah, madame, that was amazing. Normally I remember to bribe the authorities, but something came over me and I completely forgot. You've gained a little credibility. You spend the rest of the day escorting Camille out her daily errands. It takes a few minutes for her to feel comfortable again, but it comes eventually. Aw, I thought she was going to be a romance option. That would be fun. Sure, we can romance Alexander Dumas, but our maid? No. Curse you. Oh, the bourgeois. Another bourgeois party. Accept. Sorry, I got a response back to a DM. I need to rest. I need to sell that gossip too. So let's explore Paris. Elizabeth. Ooh, that's a good favor with her. Ludovico. Shocking crown gossip, shocking revolution gossip. Or I can sell my gossip. Ah, madame, thank God you've arrived. I've been keenly checking the winds of public opinion, and my finely honed journalistic senses tell me that our readership desperately cries out for stories concerning the crown. Over the loss of such information, if you can get me fresh gossip relevant to that faction in the next 11 days, then I'll reward you with a great reduction in peril. Ooh. In addition to your regular finder's fee. Yes. Do I have crown gossip? No, it's bourgeois gossip. price of food has been steadily rising the last few months, as many farmers lost nearly their entire harvest in last summer's unseasonable hailstorms. It was followed by a drought and then by one of the most brutal winters in nearly a century. Reports of starving people in the countryside boiling bark to make gruel. Desperate commoners are abandoning their homes and fleeing to the cities for relief. The people are hungry. Members of the nobility, like Duc d'Orléans, has raised money to feed the poor, but the problem is simply too vast for any individual act of charity to solve. Finance Minister Necker has sent over 50 million lira importing grain from the rest of Europe, but the famine persists. People are hungry and angry. Rumors circulate about wealthy aristocrats with secret stores of grain, purposefully extending the famine in order to lower wages and improve their political power. Workers are demanding higher wages from their bourgeois employers, who remain intransigent. People are hungry, angry, and they want to do something about it soon. And today we shall rest, for tomorrow, avenge. Alex favor. Darn, I wish I had time for that. But today we nap, and tomorrow revenge. All levels of exhaustion gone. Yes. Hey, a church party. Oh, 2 parties. One with the church and... Oh, this is the military. Oh, they did need crown gossip, though, didn't they? Oh, I got some of that tonight, though. This will not give me credibility for accepting. This one will. I would like to improve the military situation. I like Alex. Anyway, party time! Held by the crown. Nine, 6. Credibility up. I'm 80. Cheap crown gossip. Here's my invitation. Take this gift of wine. Credibility up, peril down. Your vengeance is nigh! I love this game. Elizabeth has urgent need of your help. It involves Marcelle in some way, which means you know this can't be good. Coat closet. Lost pouch. 0 to 15 peril. Yeah, I'm jumping to Elizabeth's defense. Well, it's been a little tough to start earlier on in the evening and find yourself getting into a comfortable state. Wine is flavorful and rich. The conversation is coming easy, and it almost feels like you're actually able to relax. It feels like nothing in all the known world could possibly ruin your night. That is when Elizabeth rushes up to you and says, Yvette, I need your help. Marcella is here, and she says she needs to talk to me about you. You stand corrected. One thing could possibly ruin your night. What needs to be done? Point me in her direction. There's only one thing we can do. Hide! I don't know. All it needs to do is make sure that I'm not left alone with that woman. She's utterly unbearable, Yvette. She commissioned me for a portrait a few years ago, and I almost couldn't finish it. two of you see Marcelle approaching, and the two of you steel yourselves for the encounter, like sailors bracing for their vessel to be struck by a looming wave. An extremely pink, extremely tacky wave. Oh, bonsoir, Elizabeth. Marcelle gushes, her voice treacles sweet. I had no idea you'd be here. What an unbelievable coincidence. Wait, what the devil is she doing here? She says through gritted teeth. Ah, well, the vet is... This nobody is notoriously disreputable commoner who may ever have ties to those vile nationals. I'm looking out for your best interests, Elizabeth. Our associations reflect strongly on us, and if I so remember, you may be in quite the dire situation yourself. Would you really want to endanger your position over something so trivial? Elizabeth almost looks on the verge of replying, but instead, the words never manifest. Instead, she just glances unsteadily between the two of you. Oh, I don't want to increase my peril. I have 86 credibility. That should have let me pass this. It's as you say, Marcelle, I'm nobody. How could you be threatened by me? You hear a sharp gasp as listening guests latch onto that particular challenge. Lady of good standing should be above any challenge presented by a mere commoner. Well, that's certainly not a problem for myself at all, Marcelle stammers, glancing cautiously at the growing crowd that is closely scrutinizing the three of you. Unfortunately for you, it has come to my attention that I have another urgent appointment awaiting me elsewhere. Something far more worthwhile than the two of you. Crossing the glare, some last acts at you, Marcelle storms away, her tiny dog yapping angrily at anyone nearby. Yes, Elizabeth likes me, but I have credibility. Thank you for leaping him at a fence like that. I don't know why I started to freeze up like that. Thanks. Oh, please, I'm always available to rescue you. Make nothing up, but I relish an opportunity to ruin that woman's day. Hey. With your hated foe gone, you and Elizabeth continue your conversation together, quickly finding a pleasant rhythm. Eventually, the two of you part ways, and you decide to see what else you can accomplish at this party before the evening comes to a close. What do we got here? I don't want more peril. Gossip. Ooh, lots of gossip. Yes, Gib. In the midst of your latest conversation, you feel the ethereal pull of a lead on gossip. You're absolutely certain that the woman you're speaking with knows something that Pierre would find valuable. Judging by the way she's speaking, it's likely to be cheap gossip, but it's still with the crown, so that's still quite good. Suddenly, just as she's about to finish, a gentleman loudly barges into the conversation. Ah, good afternoon, madames. Would you both be interested in joining me at the harpsichord? I have a grand new composition I'm about to demonstrate. Oh, really? You're a musician, she asks. How intriguing. You can feel her focus on your previous discussion slipping away. Yes, tell us the end of the story. Well, I imagine that would be proper. After you, madame. Magnifique. Now, where was I? She asked before delving into the details you'd be so eager to hear. You have gained a piece of cheap crown gossip. The story completed, you and your conversation partner follow the musician whose harpsichord begins to play for the crowd. All the while, he seems extremely pleased with himself and keeps looking at you like he's won some sort of victory. Men are truly strange sometimes. Song's complete, you leave both of them to explore the rest of the party. Oh, I got 4 this time. I wasn't paying attention. Noise from the coat closet. I don't want to see what that one is. Gossip. I have to know. What's going on in the closet? Step away from the party, take a break in the vestibule. You scan the guests filing in and out of the party, trying to decide where to make your next move. Suddenly your ears perk up at the sound of something unusual. You hear the sound of a small voice coming from a coat closet. Ah, such a mystery. Finally, something intriguing. this is a secret tryst between star-crossed lovers. It better not be on my shawl. A storied building with mysterious noises. Is this a haunting? It better not be on my shawl. During with the full power of your personal indignity, you approach the closet door and press your ear to it. Then you hear what's on the other side of the door. You don't hear the messy fumbling of two lovers succumbing to their forbidden passions. In fact, you hear quite the opposite. It's the mumbling and crying of a young girl. Judging by the sound, you can't be older than 15. Mademoiselle, are you perhaps a vengeful spirit from beyond? Pardon, mademoiselle, are you alright? I'm fine. Your doubtful silence speaks volumes. Actually, I'm not fine. I'm very not fine. My parents forced me to come here, and I said a bunch of stupid things. Never got bored or mad. And now it's all just as bad as I thought it would be. I just want to stay home and read books about spies. My name's Amelie, by the way. Why does anyone do this? You're joking. When I was your age, I would have killed for this. We do this because we must. Socializing is a trade like any other. Oh, mademoiselle, open up. I refuse to converse through a door. Huh. Yes, madame. She replies, thrown off by the sudden sternness of her voice. You can hear her fumbling with the latch of the door. Gain credibility. Alright, I open the door, but what should I actually do? She says, sitting in the coat closet, eyeing you warily. You don't need to talk a lot yet. You just need to listen. Start here. Find someone older and introduce yourself. They'll be thrilled. If you're going to be here, you should be memorable. Take a risk. This is decent advice? But it's so boring, Amelie whines. All they want to do is say mean things about people I don't know and then talk about plays I've never seen. Lost credibility. Yeah, fair enough. I guess this closet is pretty boring too. At least the party had snacks. So the closet door opens all the way. Alright, here I am. Time to go do party stuff, she says. The absolute picture of unenthusiasm. With an awkward wave, she departs to join the party in progress. You see a little bit of yourself in her. You're not sure if that's a good thing. Revenge! Prepare yourself, for now vengeance is close at hand! Now it is time to slip your mask and to tear off Marcelle's as well. All your plans, your investigations, and your illicit dealings have led you to this point. Holy shit, it's 6 favor with Elizabeth? That's amazing. Minus 30 peril. Plus 30 credibility. 100 lira. Let's go ruin someone's whole fucking life. You time your movements perfectly, walking in just as all the other guests filter out, and into the rest of the party itself. You and Marcelle are alone. You close the door, ensuring that the two of you will have the privacy that you require. At the sound of the door closing, Marcelle turns to look at you. Judging from her unsteadiness, she's had a little too much to drink. She squints curiously at you, obviously trying to figure out who you are under your mask. Huh. Do I know you? She asks, taking another long sip of her wine. Happy birthday, Marcelle. Remove the mask. Well, you told me never to show my face here again, so I thought the mask was appropriate. Here's a hint. I spent a long time getting what I needed to ruin you. We a dramatic motherfucker. No, it can't be you. Huh. To what do I owe this intense displeasure, Yvette? I'm looking for my dear friend, Gatien de Vasseur. Do you know him? You have a lot of secrets, Marcelle. How would you like those secrets to stay hidden? Don't worry, I'm here to deliver a present. I hope you like gravestones. Oh, I was doing it Hebrew. Don't worry, I'm here to deliver a present. I hope you like gravestones. Marcelle reaches out with a single trembling hand and takes the rubbing you made of the gravestone. She stares at it for a while as if she were looking at a ghost. As a spirit returning for vengeance for its pound of flesh. She coughs awkwardly. Anyone could have falsified something like this. This is worth nothing. My genius is well known, my loyalty to the crown is unimpeachable, and my word is as unbreakable as truth itself. You're going to need more than a rubbed gravestone to break me, commoner. Well, it's good I brought a lot more than a rubbed gravestone. You're right, I am just a commoner. I guess we have that in common. Marcelle looks at your evidence, at every single thing you've painstakingly gathered for days. With every page flip, her trepidation, her fear turns into anger, into rage. What do you want from me? She asks through gritted teeth. I'm just here to drag the skeletons from your wretched closet into the light. To break you. I'm a simple common girl with simple needs. Pay me and your life stays simple too. Ooh. Oh, the dog is scared too. But vengeance. To break me? To break me? That's the most laughably stupid thing I've ever heard, Marcelle spits, her voice dripping with undisguised venom. She takes a long, messy drink from her wine glass, finishing it. She advances on you so quickly that you find yourself backed up against the double doors. You can smell the wine in her breath, and every word she speaks is punctuated by the yelps and growls of her tiny dog. I don't just come from one great name, I come from two. My father, Gauthier de Foix, was a brilliant man of business who gave this family its wealth. The original Viscountess de Foix? Well, he just gave us a title. For years, my father loaned that broke, drunk Viscount the money he needed to fund his pathetic debauches, and asked for nothing in return. When that wastrel died in the gutter somewhere, my father was the only person who ever even knew he existed. It was only right to take his title. Oh, it's not news to her. She knew. Marcelle's nostrils flare as her anger builds, rising to a fever pitch. This is all starting to feel like a mistake. Until you feel your ankle brush up against the latch at the bottom of the door. Until you hear the crowded room full of party guests in the room on the other side. Her eyes close as she angrily lectures you. Only two things matter in this world, money and reputation. I have both. Doesn't matter what evidence you put down, I can make the truth whatever I want it to be, and all those people out there will lap it up just to be on my good side. Why, you ask? Let me spell this out for you. She coils up like a snake, preparing to scream. Open the door. With a quick flick of your foot on the floor latch, the door opens behind you, and you spill into the other room, drawing the attention of a confused, silent crowd. All eyes focus on you just in time to hear Marcelle shriek. I am Marcelle de Foix. I am Marcelle de Foix. I have everything, and you have nothing. The already quiet room falls deathly silent. Slowly, murmurs of confusion build. 100 confused voices building each other until they form a dull roar. You press forward to question Marcelle and obstruct her from your view. You find yourself being lifted to your feet. Suddenly, you're face to face with the same guests who helped you up. What is going on? What is Viscountess Marcelle talking about? It's just as she said. She's no Viscountess after all. Go to the Cemetery de Calvaire. You can ask the real Viscount de Foix. Cemetery du Calvaire? Why would such a nobleman be buried in such a... The masked guest trails off mid-sentence as she and her friends seem to answer the question for themselves at the same time. The answer seems to draw on them both. 1,000 strange little details, each ignored individually, suddenly coalescing into an undeniable picture. A picture that reveals a terrible truth. Wait a moment, you're Yvette Ducot, aren't you? One of the women suddenly asks. Yes, I am she. I knew you seemed familiar, the woman exclaims excitedly. The other guests start to turn in her direction. That makes sense why Marcelle would go to such great lengths to slander you. She tried to drive you away because you were too close to the truth. You've gained a staggering amount of credibility. You have lost a staggering amount of peril. The order of events there is a little backwards, but you'll take it. Madame, you have done the crown a great service by exposing this impostor. We are in your debt. Gained a staggering amount of favor with Elizabeth. As for Marcelle, they both say in unison. Marcelle is ruined. Next few moments are a chaotic blur as you are led through Marcelle's estate by the crowd. Cheers go up wherever you are seen, and toasts are made. Someone even throws you a rose. You get the feeling as if the spell has been broken. How many of these people were Marcelle's friends but a moment ago? Did they secretly hate her, or did their opinions really change this quickly? Marcelle is a monster, and got what she deserved. But is justice really what they actually care about? How quickly were these people, so swept up in celebration, willing to turn on you someday? It's a disquieting thought, one that almost ruins your good spirits. Almost. You drink deep from the chalice of victory that night. You also drink from several actual chalices as you were led to your carriage. Your revenge is complete. Your victory is absolute. You are the talk of the town. Outside, a variety of eager hands help you onto your carriage. With a wave to an adoring crowd, your coachman takes off and you disappear into the night, already a minor legend in your own right. Mysterious countrywoman who broke a viscountess. Vengeance unmasked! Get your revenge by revealing Marcelle's true face. Yeah, I need to replace that outfit. 9 favor with Elizabeth. Jeez. I lost 33 peril. Nice. Nothing like the sweet smell of vengeance in the morning. Ah. Okay. I don't have another crown function for a while. I really should go looking for that fiance of mine now that I've gotten my vengeance. Holy crap. Rumor mongers. Ooh, shock and gossip. Let's go to the abandoned studio and find stuff about Alex. Courtesy of Pierre, you've learned about an art studio that Armand used to visit. Fortunately, that studio was shut down after being raided by Guet Royale. This investigation may require some discretion on your part. I'm also eating a snack. Tugging on the edges of your hood to make sure your face is hidden from view. You glance down again at the hastily scribbled address Pierre gave you in his office. In addition to your regular traveling clothes, you have a small bag hanging off your shoulder, a portable lantern with a flint. You waited for sunset before heading out, as it feels like these sorts of things are better done under the cover of darkness, where everything is still too bright. Every hanging lantern, every candlelit window feels like an eye staring down at you. Winding through the narrow streets, you can't help but think about how out of the way this place would have been for Armand. If Pierre said he was still a regular visitor. Despite yourself, you find your heart beating faster and faster as you get closer to the abandoned studio. Rounding a corner, you find yourself on an empty street, looking across the road to the studio. The windows of the small 2-story building have been boarded up. There's a charred hole in the roof. A sign nailed on the door reads, "Closed on orders of the king." Before you can step any further, the closed building, Hansel steps in front of you. Madame, I'd like to inspect the building first. You never know who's taken up residence in empty places like this. He knows what he's doing. Proceed, Hansel. Crouching as low as his sizable frame will allow, Hansel advances towards the building with his hand firmly on the grip of his saber. As he glances inside the windows and tries the door, which appears to have been nailed shut. Eventually he finds out some of the boards covering one of the windows are loose and quickly pries them off, easily hopping through the window onto the building inside. Catch glimpses of him through some of the other windows as he scours the darkened interior. After what you feel like an eternity, you see his hand emerge from the open window and motion for you to approach. You back up your skirts and quietly hurry across the street towards him. The window, Hansel's hands emerge from the darkness and grab you by the waist, easily helping you into the building. Inside, the studio is even darker than you would have guessed. Between the boards and the windows, the lack of lighting in the surrounding street, it's nearly impossible to pick out any details smaller than the walls and the doors. You carefully use a flint stowed in the base of your lantern to light it, then muffle most of the light with the hem of your cloak. Now that you have a little bit more light, you can see most of the furniture inside is broken, and enough things are missing to make you wonder how much the Goutte Royale sees during their raid. Hansel steps in front of you and whispers, "Now that we have a light in here, it's only a matter of time before someone spots us. I recommend we move quickly, madame." Where should we look? Check the painting studio was in the front. The back room was where they would meet. Back room. The grunt of acknowledgement, Hansel falls in behind you, and you make your way towards the back room. The entrance to the back room isn't as obvious, and if Pierre hadn't told you about it earlier, you might have mistaken it for a closet door. When you go to open the door, you notice that the latch has been torn off, probably a casualty of the raid. So the back room is cramped, and it's mostly occupied by a circular table with some small chairs. Various notes are pinned to the wall, and you shine your lantern about. You notice a slight glimmer under the table. What are you going to investigate in the back room? Notes on the wall. Read the notes on the wall and squint to read them. None of it makes any sense. They're written in another language or some kind of code. No, wait, it's just terrible handwriting. Eventually, you can deduce a meaning from the malformed letters. All of the notes are suggested readings of various books and pamphlets. They seem to cover a broad range of texts related to history and political theory. While some of the authors are French, you notice that most of them are from elsewhere in the continent, especially in Central Europe. While you're sure this reading list is insightful, it won't bring you any closer to Armand. This particular investigation has cost you some precious time. You've gained peril. Let's look under the table. What caught the light earlier? Find a small scattering of coin. It appears that at some point in the chaos, someone must have dropped their coin purse and nobody noticed it. This will bring you closer to Armand, but you'll never turn down free coin. 6 lira. Check the back room, and there's nothing there. Let's go upstairs. It's a long table and scattered cutlery, suggesting it was a dining room. Small fireplace occupies one side of the room, with a wide swath of ash spilling out of the fireplace onto the floor. Above the fireplace itself, a painting hangs on the mantel. Check the painting. Take the painting off its hook and examine it closely. It's not as carefully detailed as some of the others in the building, but there's a certain joyful energy to it. Whoever painted this genuinely enjoyed making it. It's a dining scene, done in reflective perspective, intended to make the actual room feel larger than it really is. All the men and women in the picture are laughing, clinking glasses, and looking merry. Even Armand. Armand's smiling face is looking back at you from the picture, a glass raised in mid-toast, and a quill in his free hand. On one side of him is a man you remember from your last night together with Armand, the man named Isaac. On the other side of him is a young woman who you've never seen before. Her hand is on his shoulder. You turn the painting back and forth, looking for more details until you hear something metallic shift. Looking the painting over, you find a note tucked into the frame on the back of the painting, along with a key. You don't recognize the handwriting, but you decide against taking the time to read the note now, while legally trespassing in a condemned building. You carefully fold the note around the key and secret it under your stays. You'll be able to investigate it later. Strange and Stranger is now available for you to investigate on the Paris map. You can't help but grin with satisfaction. This is the lead you were looking for. Ya, madame. Hansel grunts as you give the sign to leave, leading you to the window you entered the building through. He effortlessly helps you out of the window before following you out, scanning the street for witnesses. Outside, he puts the boards back on the window where he found them. You can hear the approaching footsteps and spot the reflection of the lantern light off nearby buildings. Goutte Royale are on their way, but as long as you keep moving, you should be gone before they arrive. After you, madame, Hansel gestures towards the dark alleys as you initially approach the studio from. With the precious lead in your possession, your bodyguard at your back, and the authorities none the wiser, you disappear into the night. Fuck yeah! Look up at the sound of Camille knocking on the doorframe. Good morning, madame. Pay us. 70 lira. Yes. Merci beaucoup, madame. Okay. Explore Paris. I have gossip to sell, don't I? Let's go here because he's going to drop our perils stuff. Thank you. This is exactly the kind of salacious trash our esteemed readers require. I'll take care of your reward. A week ago, a wallpaper manufacturer named Jean-Baptiste Rebellion made a speech demanding bread prices be lowered to something workers could afford. However, this speech was misinterpreted as a plan to control the wages of workers. Last night, a protest at his factory resolved peacefully. Today, however, was different. Yesterday's crowds, over 3,000 strong, returned today. As mobs began to smash Rebellion's factory, the watchmen of the Goutte Royale were mobilized to contain the crowd, something reinforced by the Queen's Dragoons, who were in the area for a training exercise. The bourgeois lost some power. The sudden presence of the military was a disquieting one. It's one thing to face the watchmen one sees every day on the street. It's another to see mounted soldiers with rifles and sabers. One exists to keep the established order, the other exists to kill. Fear began to escalate through the crowd. Fear led to violence. A brick was thrown, a rifle was fired. Nobody knows what happened first, but for a brief moment, the floodgates of violence were open, and blood flowed in the streets around a simple wallpaper factory. In the midst of this madness, a common soldier broke ranks, riding into the center of the conflict, waving his hat, imploring everyone to put down their weapons and come to their senses. This unbelievable sight was enough to stun those who saw it and make them reconsider their actions. He was struck down by a bullet fired by one of his own comrades. An accident. His name was Corporal Thomas Alexander Dumont. He will be remembered as a hero. His death led to the abrupt ceasefire and is credited with greatly diminishing the amount of casualties that day. This has led to a sudden swelling of support. The members of the... No! Alex! His funeral was one of the most widely attended in recent history, with demagogues from both the Crown and the Revolution claiming Thomas Alexander as a martyr for their cause. The military establishment has chosen to remain silent on the matter. Those motherfuckers killed Alex. Silence, in fact, has been deeply concerning by members of the aristocracy. We're worried that the common soldiers will be less likely to bear arms against their fellow citizens. So, despite this, the soldiers of the Garde Française have volunteered to patrol the streets until a measure of peace is restored. This has been greeted with a wary assent by the public. Military has moved its allegiance towards the revolution by a decent amount. And so, with the loss of a voice pleading for peace, Paris has started to burn. I can't believe we lost Thomas. Chapter 2, beginning chapter 2. Oh, I guess he always dies. Oh, that's awful. I hate that. No, there's an achievement for him that says complete the story of Alex the Good Soldier. I guess I didn't do that? Wake up from a fitful sleep, spend around an hour rolling around in bed instead of actually getting up. Given how dangerous the situation outside has become, you haven't left the house in several days. Yes, I have. The lost sleep makes perfect sense, of course. After last week's events, it's hard to imagine resting easily at all. Ranking something back to the larger events of last week, how a mob of peasants simply overran the holdings of one of the wealthiest and most powerful men in France. There was nothing special about those people, and yet they easily defied the laws of His Majesty the King. Brings to mind the idea that what we call power is a partner dance between the ruler and the ruled. To those watching the dance, it feels like small pushes and pulls of the ruler represent absolute control, but that's only because both partners know their roles so well. That's the power of good theater. It can make imaginary things seem more real, more true than reality. However, the truth is that a single misstep by either partner could cause the entire dance to break down. A single misstep can cause the ruled to remember that they aren't actually powerless at all. And the people remember how much power they truly possess. And as the people remember that, Paris will become more and more dangerous. Their actions may now have more powerful consequences for good or for ill. The world has become less forgiving. The next stage of certain romance stories are now unlocked. You're roused from your thoughts by the sound of Camille coming to knock on your door. Madame, I just got this letter for you, she announces as she enters your chambers, holding up the message in question. Earlier this... Wait, what? That was weird. Tabbed over to a different thing. That was weird. That was very odd. Saw a man leave this on a doorstep, but he disappeared before I could get a good look at him. You take the unsealed letter and open it. Immediately, you note that their handwriting is both careful and curiously precise, but you don't recognize it at all. Madame de Caux. You don't know me, but I follow La Trompette du Pupol with interest, and I know you're connected to some of its finest stories. However, I also have reason to believe that I would be quite useful to some of your more clandestine interests. I'll be waiting at La Place Royale. If you would like to discuss this further. Why does La Place Royale sound so familiar? You shuffle through your papers until you look it on your map. Someone once told you it was a good place to trawl for gossip. Signed, a skilled master of letters. Certainly unconventional, but if you want to meet this man at La Place Royale, you could do that today. Oh shit, all of those got canceled. Alright. I have to look something up. I have to know. Does Alex always die? Apparently he could survive. Interesting. But he can die. Oh, I'm so mad about that. He was the one I liked. Alright, La Place Royale. Let's go here. Somebody said they'll meet us. Tutorial. Here it is. This is the very place the mysterious master of letters suggested you meet. However, you don't seem to see him. Perhaps you'll find him the next time you visit, now that you're more familiar with the area. That was honestly kind of dull. I guess because I've never gone there before, it gave me the tutorial and didn't let me meet the guy. Yesterday, with great fanfare, the Estates General was finally convened. This great meeting is the result of His Majesty the King calling upon all three estates of France to debate and vote on how the various crises ravaging the country should be resolved. Yeah, I know how this goes. As part of the opening ceremony, each estate paraded down the streets of the city. First estate, the church, sent clergymen from all over France. Among their number are everything from humble countryside priests in their black cossacks to resplendent bishops and cardinals, bedecked in crimson and gold. The second estate, the nobility, strutted down the streets in unison. Bedecked in their finest clothes and jewels, they seem like an army of swaggering peacocks. Theirs is the realm of tradition, privilege, and loyalty to the crown. Third estate, representing over 9/10 of France's population, marched in stern, quiet rows, dressed in blacks, browns, and other somber colors. Represented everyone from the highest judge to the wealthiest factory owner to the lowest peasant. In fact, His Majesty, as he has even seen fit to break from tradition and grant the third estate double representation. With twice the amount of representatives, they're close to representing their own stake in the country, which was originally a source of great hope. I think even though they got more representatives, they still only get one vote, and that's the problem here. Unfortunately, it's come to pass that while they were granted double representation, they haven't been given a double amount of votes. The third estate can still only cast as many votes as either the first or second estate. That means their double representation is purely symbolic. Yep. Needless to say, it has made people unhappy, which has led to some within the third estate to... Wait, what the devil? Close the newspaper tightly in your clutches, you reread the article carefully. One of the men describing the article sounds extremely familiar. Long brown hair, tall, young and tall, representing the nobility of the second state, but he has elected to merely wear a fine blue coat for the opening ceremonies without other adornments. The article writer singled out his casual attire as disrespectful. As Armand, you're absolutely certain of it. Without any illustrations to speak of, you're forced to carefully reread the short passage over and over again. Every tiny statement about the reporter's chosen view of the ceremonies gains news value as you attempt to deduce where Armand was seen last. After checking your finding against the map of Paris, you think you might have a lead. Researching Armand is now available for visit on the Paris map. In fact, you might even be able to search for him today. There's no parties right now. Researching Armand or Stranger and Stranger. Let's check Stranger and Stranger first. It only takes all day for you to finally work up the nerve to do this. Just as the sun sets, you finally pull out the note and key from under your stays. The paper is covered in unfamiliar handwriting written in rich emerald ink. Cher Armand, I always appreciate your commitment to our cause. I know France will be better for it. However, our chance of getting caught grows with each passing day. I will not waste ink painting terrible pictures of the consequences, as you are already familiar with them. If fortune turns against us, then I will want you to flee Paris entirely and head to the border. If you show them my ring, the society's sponsors will protect you. I know you've objected to this idea before, but it's the only way for you to stay safe. To aid in this, I've secreted a package on the loose floorboards beneath your stove. This key will open it. Your partner in conspiracy, Johanna. Another letter and find no additional writing, no additional context or explanation. Who is Johanna, and how long has Armand known her for? Is she one of the people he had been writing to back home? Downstairs, you walk to the kitchen. It's clean but cramped, and Camille keeps it well stocked with fresh produce. You find the stove made of dark iron standing in a set of clawed feet. Alone on your hands and knees, you feel around until you find a set of loose floorboards. You pull up the floorboards and fish around in the dark until you find a small wooden box held shut by a padlock. You open it with the key you found behind the painting. Inside the box, you find a magnetic compass, a map of Paris with notes concerning when the guards change at every city's states, a signet ring, and a heavy bag with coins. The notes in the map make it much easier to traverse the sea without being noticed by the Goutte Royale or anyone else. You lost quite a bit of peril. Looks at the bag, and that's a lot of coins. 100 lira. Looking from your sudden windfall to see Camille standing in the doorway to the kitchen. Her eyes are darting between you and the box of confusion. I was just about to start making dinner, Camille says, pointing awkwardly at the stove. Camille, did you know about this?
Huh.
Know about what? She asked, glancing between you and the bag of coins. Was that Monsieur Armand's? Why would he leave money in the house? For the first time you feel her, you feel like Camille might not be telling the truth. Yeah, I got 100 credibility. Answer. Why did he leave?
Huh.
A few weeks ago, when Mr. Armand still lived here, some men came here in the middle of the night. I don't know why, but they tried to hurt him. I was in the cellar getting wine, so I hid down there in the dark until the screaming stopped. Mr. Armand finally managed to fight them off, but he was hurt and thought those men would come back for him. They packed his things, wrote the note for you, and left. He thought that if he wasn't here, they'd keep chasing after him and you'd be safe. I was supposed to tell you what happened, but this house is so big and empty. By the time you arrived, I was so lonely. I was afraid that if you knew the whole story, then you'd leave and I'd be alone again. Sorry, madame. I never wanted to lie to you. I just... Are there any other valuable secrets you care to divulge right now? No, that's everything I have. I'm not much for one for secrets and intrigues. I don't think I'm very good at them. I should probably start making you dinner. Hopefully this news will be better on a full stomach. Madame, I'll have to ask you to leave the kitchen while I work. Here you can ask any further questions. Camille ushers you out into the hallway. The door shuts quickly behind you, and all you can hear is the clattering of pots and pans as she starts furiously preparing food. You look at the signet ring included with the box. It's a finely made silver ring, the signet used for pressing seals and wax. You don't recognize the symbol, but the piece of jewelry itself looks very old. You're starting to wonder if this investigation will ever start answering more questions than it asks. Alright. So that was the end of the first quest line there. I still have researching Armand. Or I can go to the Palace Royale and look for the guy. I know this path is open. After reading about a man that matches Armand's description in the local paper, head down to where he was last spotted. Hopefully you'll be able to find some clues regarding his disappearance. Getting ready in a flash, you head out onto the street with a newspaper and with your journal, determined to find some evidence of where Armand could possibly be. The journalist who wrote the article mentioned a nearby bakery. It sounded familiar to you from all your previous walks about Paris. You curse yourself for having to rely on such thin evidence. There's a description of a man who might be Armand, reported being seen near a bakery. Which might be the one you vaguely remember. There's no guarantee he'll ever come back here. There's barely a guarantee he was ever here at all. It's utterly maddening, and as you struggle to remember what's even motivating you right now. I must find Armand because I love him. He will rue the day he wronged me, and for that I must find him. He did kind of ghost us. The truth. All I want is the truth. Feel a rush of energy as you say this to yourself. You cannot rest until you have answers. You managed to find the bakery, but you're uncertain where to start your search. I shall go inside and question the proprietor. As you're about to step inside, you feel a tap on your shoulder. You son of a bitch! You should get off the street, he says quietly. You are still dumbstruck with shock when he leads you off the street to a nearby tavern with no other patrons. Staff look at the two of you with a mixture of confusion and indignation. The very idea of customers offends them to their core. Yet after sitting there for a few minutes, nobody approaches your table. You might explain why there are no other customers in here. I'm so glad to see you, he says, his eyes staring deeply into your own. I've never been so happy to see you. How dare you? What happened? What's going on? Why? Why do any of this?
Oh-ho!
I can see this turn of fortune has done nothing to dull your inquisitive nature. Armand, favor up. I came to Paris, and as you can tell by my old dwellings, I used to live very frugally. As much as I enjoy a little luxuries, my money was better spent on my other pursuits in the city. I was attending parties and needed to make inroads with powerful people, including one Viscountess de Foix. He shakes his head ruefully. I was beside myself with rage when I heard they lashed out at you to get vengeance on me. I knew that I'd anger them with my proposals, but I had no idea they'd sink to such wretched behavior. He does not. That is... We should not marry this man. In fact, he says in a low voice, I believe they're the one who sent those men to do violence upon me. Thankfully, my father's constable's insistence that I study the art of pugilism proved to be wiser. After a great struggle and several smart applications of a candelabra to their heads and shoulders, I managed to drive them both from the house. He stands proudly, with a telltale wind suggesting that he might still be recovering from some injuries. However, I have no idea when those villains would return and how many of their associates they'd bring with them. So I had to flee that very night. I know in my mind that it was a sound decision, but in my heart I regretted it ever since. I'm sorry. I've already forgiven you. I'm just glad you're alive. You can apologize all you wish, but words won't heal this. I have some things of my own I need to apologize for. Oh, I hate that last one. I don't like any of these answers. They give me a, alright, that's all well and good. What were you doing? Better one. I have no idea how eagerly I've waited to hear those words from you, he says, laughing with a sense of great relief. You've gained favor with Armand. I have so much to tell you, so much to show you. Soon you'll understand why I've done all this. You'll see what's at stake for us. Of course, right now I have to risk going to the Estates General, as I have many important things to do there. Thankfully, nobody can risk assailing me while I'm out there. They have to keep my living situation a secret due to threat of ambush, he says when he pulls out a piece of paper and begins to write on it. He hands you the paper on which he's written an address. It's a house on the western edge of the city. Don't worry, it's just as charming as the one you're living in at the moment. Armand's purpose is now available to visit on the Paris map. While I can't move back in with you, you'll at least be able to visit me where we're staying. We'll do it as soon as I can. Yeah, what do you mean where we're staying? Yes. Well, you see... Armand, what the devil are you doing here? We need to... A woman asks as she walks into the tavern. Huh. Who is this? I suppose the introductions are in order. Yvette, this is Johanna du Yarden. She leads the political society I've been working with. Johanna, this is Yvette Ducot, my fiancé. She managed to track me down, he says quite proudly. Your fiancé? After all this time? I just assumed. She trails off, looking at you very carefully. Well, no matter. If somebody like you could find you, then we aren't doing a very good job of hiding. We have to go. Just when I finally found her again? Absolutely not. When we stir on the streets, more likely some assassin runs a blade through your ribs, Johanna replies in a soothing voice, resting her fingers on the back of his hand. You won't see her again at all if that happens. I suppose that's reasonable, he admits, running his fingers through his hair. Yvette, you know how to find me. I want to tell you more, but for right now I need to go. Don't worry, this won't last forever. The more I'm learning about this situation, the less I like it. I agree. You get to the tavern with your mind swirling with possibilities and a heavy sense of dread. You found Armand, but for now you're wondering if that was for the best. Alright. Armand's purpose. Alright, let's go talk to this guy here. Return to the Palace Royale. Looking for a mysterious skilled master of letters. Approach the statue of King Louis XIII at the center of the square in order to survey the area. Specifically, you're looking for somebody that appears to be looking for someone else. After a few minutes, you hear somebody meaningfully clear their throat behind you. Henry Van Lucas. At your service, Madame Ducot, the man says to you. Pleasure to meet you. What is this about? A pleasure to meet you as well. The point, I know you've been getting involved with major players in the city, as it were. I can see why, too. Those riots, tensions have only risen. If I were a betting man, I'd say things in Paris are going to get worse before they get better. With that in mind, I wanted to offer my services as a forger of letters. An uncanny woman like yourself could get some use out of a few political notes accidentally leaked to the right people in the right positions of power. While I can't directly influence the Crown Revolution, I'm certain I would be able to deliver a significant push to the loyalties of the military, the church, or the bourgeoisie. Go on. Wonderful. You can report to my offices at any time. We'll discuss the terms there. He says as he hands you a business card which has only an address on it. No name or any other indication of what the business does. Master of Letters is now available to visit on the Paris map. This would all cost around 50 lira. I know it isn't cheap. I'm sure it's a paltry fee compared to the possibility of changing the course of history. Now I must take my leave. Please consider my offer carefully. He walk off. Or he walk away. Yes, forgot the S. Disappearing into the crowd so that you are left to stroll around the Palace Royale. Hopefully you'll be able to find some juicy gossip. cheap church gossip. Societies and squares have to filter out at the dinner appointments and other social events, and you decide to head home as well. A crown party. Sure. Alright, let's find out what Armand wants. It's a long walk to get to the Armand's address on the western edge of Paris, but compared to the events of the last month or so, it's an easy stroll around the block. The neighborhood is a poor one, filled with the kind of poor who feel like they can improve their... Filled with the kind of poor who still feel like they can improve their situation. Will strut proudly down the streets wearing one or two articles of fine clothing over their worn-out ones, seeming almost a parody of the wealthy aristocrats who glide around La Place Royale. To them, these one or two expensive things are both a luxury and a valuable armor against the sneers and derision of those better off. Time and time again, you've seen that the poorer one is, the harder it is to gain someone's trust. In lives like theirs, any scrap of trust could be the difference between survival and complete destitution. Armand must have chosen this address because he couldn't stand out here. In his fashion of a fine nobleman's jacket and plainer clothes underneath, he'd look like any proud, desperate man trying to strive for something better. He managed to find his new home, 3 stories tall, but thin and leaning to one side. It feels less like a home and more like an old man crippled with age. It reminds you of your own living situation. However, judging from the dust and the cracked window panes, he doesn't have anyone like Camille to take care of things. While Armand isn't the only one living here, there's also this Johanna woman. You're still uncertain of her role in all this. She be the one who wrote the cryptic letter to him, the one you found secreted under the floorboards in the kitchen? Knock on the door and hear some movement inside as someone opens the door just a crack to see who it is. Spotting you, Armand flings open the door and bounds inside. Or bounds outside. Oh, ma chérie, it is good to see you again. Please come in. You walk in and he takes your cloak as you to hang it on the coat rack. Inside the building is remarkably sparse without any decorations. It feels more like an outpost than a home. Please make yourself at home. Johanna is out, so it's just you and me for the moment. Yeah, I don't know about this Johanna woman. Tell me more. Oh, but of course. My friend Charles introduced me to her when I first moved to Paris. While our organization here has been growing rapidly, I've essentially become her closest confidant. Though she'll never take credit for it, she's the real founder of the society I've become a part of. She's clever, tenacious, and she speaks French so well for somebody who didn't grow up with the language. You think back on your brief conversations with her, and you never even detected a hint of a foreign accent when she spoke. Why would she put so much effort into sounding exactly like a native French speaker? I'm really glad to see you reacting this way. I was so afraid you'd be jealous of her. I understand that a man and a woman living under the same roof leads to all sort of assumptions. As for myself, I'm assuming too much when I asked if you were romantically involved with Madame Lebrun, but if you remember, it's been nothing substantial. These rumors also call her a painter so skilled that she's grown detached from the concerns of society. Please don't take me for a jealous boy, Yvette. As I have said before, I don't blame you given the circumstances. No, I like her more than you at the moment. Or curious than anything, as I've never met her. What's she really like? It's true, she's brilliant. It doesn't give a damn what the aristocrats think. Oh, really? Perhaps I'll have to learn a little bit more about her myself. Oh, yes, I have something to show you, he says, leading you up 2 creaky flights of stairs to a window. Immediately feels different from the other ones in the house, because you can see the glass here has actually been cleaned and polished. Look out at it all. You're at the very top of a small hill, and all the buildings in this neighborhood are short, leaving you a remarkably clear view of Paris. I come here to think every day, to think about the responsibility I have to these people. While I never see them all, I can see their houses, their workplaces, and all the other places that serve as stages for their lives. Few of them will ever have the power to change things, sometimes by mere circumstances of their birth. Still, that only makes them more important. That still makes it more important that I do something right. That's why I joined this group, the Frankish Habsburgian Society. In Austria, the House of Habsburg has managed reforms for far more efficient governance, religious tolerance, land reforms, and more. Yeah, that's the Habsburgs are not super Not the most popular people. Frankish Habsburgian society. What's this? Yeah, they don't get along. Why is he involved with them? Yeah, it's unusual. They shouldn't get along with the Habsburgs. In France, we have trouble brewing between two disastrous powers. First is the aristocracy, who would march our country up a cliff if it allowed them to preserve their privileges for another day. The revolutionaries, who can only agree on what they wish to tear down, not on what they'll build afterwards. Her Majesty our Queen was born Maria Antonia Josepha Johanna, daughter of the Empress of Austria. Her brother, Joseph II, is the Holy Roman Emperor. If our two countries were brought together under a single rule, France would have the resources to resolve its immediate crisis and the political will necessary to do away with our more backward traditions. Dude, you are going full revolution. You were talking about merging France with Germany. Or by modern standards. They're not gonna fly with that, dude. Like, no. Bad plan. Every single day I look out of this window and I think of all the people we could save. Armand, this is treason. Right, it is treason, the highest crime imaginable. Murder and theft are also crimes, but the ancestors of every king and queen of all the world gained their dominion through conquest. Still, years later, we celebrate their crimes as victories. We will break the laws, yes, but it's in service of the good greater than any one law. Can't you see that? Yeah, I don't mind that. Without a word, he grabs you by the waist and pulls you closer. You rest your head on the crook of his shoulder and you realize you've nearly forgotten how it felt. The two of you watch the sun set on the city together. The lights of the city slowly appear, like a second set of stars. I'll have to leave for a meeting tomorrow. More secrets and skullduggery. We have something coming up that will involve convincing a lot of people to our cause. I think you'd be perfect for it. I'll have someone leave a message with Camille when we get close to the date. You can stay here for a while longer if you'd like. Can I trust you to let yourself out? But of course. What am I saying? Of course I can. I'm just about to leave before he turns back to you and says, I just wanted to say that I never stopped thinking about you. In fact, I still have all the letters you wrote me, locked away in my desk. Fantastic. I finally managed to find my fiancé, and now I'm an accomplice to treason. Your head hangs heavy as if a millstone had been placed around your neck as you trudge home. You spend the long walk through the dark, wondering how exactly you will manage to rescue yourself from this latest set of dangers. Yeah, he's kind of screwed us. Good morning, madame. The rent is due today. Merci beaucoup. Oh, Armand, I will kick your ass. I have stuff the bourgeoisie would like, right? You know what? It is time to go do some dress shopping. Saving game. You arrive at Le Petit Morgul to find Fatima actively engaged with someone else. Please, Maurice, you have to understand this place barely has 2 spare coins to rub together right now. And I only have a few regular customers left. I simply don't have enough work to hire on extra help. I'm sorry. I understand, Fatima. I've just been months without work, and I'm starting to think I'll have to leave town if I can't find something soon. Please tell me you haven't found someone better. How do you know that's impossible? I've never been a man with more precise stitching than you. Yeah, that mischievous smile is the one I want to take. My God. Oh, Fatima, you flatterer. Please stop. Actually, no, please keep going. Fine. I may be great at making garments, but you turn them into a second skin. Anything he works on gets new life breathed into it. It's how you say, fashion comes and goes, but well-fitting clothes never go out of style. That's the one. Oh, Madame Ducot, you're here. Fatima yells, suddenly noticing your presence. Did I hear correctly? Your friend Maurice is looking for work. Ah, yes, you heard correctly, madame. I'm a tailor by trade. If you are looking to employ me, I can update your outfits to restore some of their novelty and alter their sensibilities in whatever direction you desire. I might also be able to help negotiate a decent discount with a certain provider of elegant finery. He might be right. My services cost approximately 40 lira per week. Does that feel acceptable? Get in the van, bitch. Ah, yes, I assumed it would be so. Wait, what? You actually want to hire me? Oh, thank you, madame. I promise that you'll be the most elegantly styled woman in all of Paris. Her radiance shall glow like the bright, burning sun. And those that dare approach your majesty shall be destroyed for their hubris, just like the wax wings of Icarus. Personally, you've always felt somewhat sympathetic to Icarus. What's the point of wings if not to reach even higher? Of course, this still doesn't feel like the right time to bring that up. Hired Maurice, the tailor. So, my good friend, about getting my wonderful employer a discount. Fine, let's talk business. So I don't have anything that really specializes in the church. And my only outfits for the bourgeoisie are also my military outfits. So church. Church likes this one. Church is a little bit there. This is mostly military and crown. To the one stat that I care about. What's wearing out? That's good for military. If I can fix this one up a bit more, I still have something decent for the crown. That is also good for military, crown, and bourgeoisie. They don't really care about the revolution. I'm really not supporting them. Leave. Alright. Master of Letters. Use 50 lira. Use a little peril. Let's try this out. Alright. False letters that would push one of the city's minor factions towards the Crown Revolution for a key. Yeah, let's get to work. Start by carefully wrapping up the money and placing it in the envelope. 50 lira. Remember which of the minor factions wish to sway. Military seems like good for situation. Begin your anonymous missive to him by asking him to falsify the leak letters pertaining to the military. I want them to be more loyal to the crown. You write out your request for the falsified communications to push the military towards the crown. The military may publicly refrain from making political declarations, but the ability to commit acts of violence is the original source of political power. The military has moved towards the crown by quite a bit. You then come to your chambers and hand the anonymous letter off to her. She'll be able to deliver it today. And take the rest of the day off. You have to find a letter waiting for you at your bedside table. This wouldn't be unusual, save for the fact that it's sealed in plain, uncolored wax and hasn't been stamped with a sigil of any sort. Opening the letter, you immediately recognize Armand's handwriting. However, the writing style is remarkably brief for him, and you find yourself instinctively checking for another 3 or 4 pages of text that don't exist. Chère Yvette, Johanna has recently finished setting up a meeting place where we can meet with notable individuals who are attending the Estates General. More importantly, these persons are interested in learning more the goals of our humble society. It sounds like some very influential people are generally intrigued by the Frankish Habsburgian society business. Read on a little bit further to find interest. It looks like these events aren't happening very far from your home. Foreign entanglements is now available for you to visit on the Paris map. Your knowledge, canniness, and infamy would be an amazing asset. I would love to see you there. Je t'embrasse, Armand. Put the letter down, double check your calendar. You should be able to visit that place today if you'd like. Oh, but I have shit to do the next few days. Yeah, but Armand, I was going to take a nap. Peril and a little bit of Lyra. Zero to 20 for Peril. I wonder why. What's that? We're committing treason. Some of the other achievements on this, because I haven't curious about some of these. Meeting maximum. Have your reputation trampled by meeting the vile Baron. Begin chapter 3. The curtain falls. Finish ambition, a minute in power with any ending. Complete the storyline of Madame Gazelle, the wealthy widow. Complete the storyline of Antoine, the young firebrand. the story of Ludovico, the lovesick priest. An ally of the people, be so celebrated by the revolution that you're remembered as a key ally in their struggle. Lady of Fine Arts, complete the story of Elizabeth, the royal painter. National Razor, have your story ended by the guillotine like so many others. A friend of the crown. So basically lead the crown to victory. Champion of the week, complete the storyline of Alex, the good soldier. And Emigre, flee Paris, or head of a violent uprising that threatens to destroy everything. And then 3 hidden achievements. I kind of don't want to help Alex with his crazy bullshit. That seems like a bad. Saved. I've never gone here. Let's see what this is. Children from Paris, you weave the crowds through excited students. Find a coffee house. Bunch of students. She chases students off. Growing up, you were often told that religion and politics make for poor conversation. It appears that none of these people got the same message. Lighting up the table, you're approached by the woman from before. I don't like that hat. Bonjour, madame. My name is Marguerite, and let me be the first to welcome you to Café Principal. Principe. One house coffee. May I just have some water? Tutorial. As for the women, they are prostitutes. It's not actually that funny. Laughing is just good for business. Is there anything else you'd like to know? Oh, how do things actually... I like that. That's entertaining. The cafe! Don't worry, everything here is pretty simple. It should play out with our patrons the same way every day for the last few years. First you come and sit down, you order something. Well, we can't make you order anything. We strongly prefer that you order some coffee. She stops to stare at you significantly for a moment. Coffee also perks you up, makes you feel less exhausted if you're feeling tired. It's no substitute for sleep, but it's a start. After you get your drink, you can settle in along with the other patrons. They're all obsessed with politics. It's easy to find out who's among the high and mighty is doing well at the moment. Everything's always shifting in Paris, so it's nice to come in regularly and stay informed. Once you've listened for a while, you'll probably get dragged into one of the debates. Be careful with your answer as news travels fast. On who you support, you can earn favor with people from one faction, but lose it from another. After that, you head home with a little more energy, a little more knowledge, and hopefully you're a little bit more well-liked. Your journal has been updated with the standings of all the political factions in Paris. It becomes obvious that the crown is significantly more powerful than the revolution. While it may be possible for the revolution to make the crown give in to their demands, they'd have to build strong alliances with other factions to do so. Opening, you switch your focus to something more specific. You scan your room looking at everyone's manner of dress and body language. You look at the subtle hints where people's allegiances might lie. More notes go into your journal. You're certain that the military is the most powerful of all the minor factions. Additionally, it seems they very strongly support the royal family. Now that you have your bearings politically, you start to get a little bit more involved with your fellow patrons. Everyone banging their fist on the table, claiming that the officials who failed to pay the army's wages the king as required by law. What do you say? The military's right. If you don't like how they act, then change the laws. Revolution's right. Soldier must protect us from foreign tyrants, not assist local ones. I mean, I feel like that comeback doesn't really say good things about the revolution. But yeah, and I'm gonna back the military. Some of the people in the discussion feel satisfied by the answer, but not everybody seems pleased. Certain your opinions will be known by nearly everyone in Paris by the time next morning comes around. You gain some favor with the military, you've lost a little favor with members of the revolution. Now, late in the day, when you're certain conversation here can carry along into the night, you feel like you've done what you came here to do. Say your goodbyes to various patrons and leave with more knowledge than you had before. Okay. Your morning preparations are interrupted by the sound of Camille knocking on your door. Madame, remember that man you had me deliver the secret letter to, the master forger? Yes. So when I delivered it, I met the man at the door. They said nice things, they smiled a lot. It doesn't feel right. I don't know what to say, but it feels like they're smiling too much. I don't like the sound of that either. Oui, madame. Alright, company party with the bourgeois. So the bourgeoisie don't have a lot of faction power. Church is doing a little bit better. But the church and the army are both aligned with the crown. Yeah, I'm going to want to strengthen the crown in this particular playthrough. Oh, this gossip's real old. Alright, let's go to the party in this outfit. Head straight to the party. There's some stuff. Go in, because I don't need to lower my peril. Alright. Peril thing. Ooh, a wealthy widow. Yes, let's start this path. It's in the party's exquisite string quartet when you notice something odd. An elegant woman in black is sitting off to the side by herself. Her presence is obvious. While nothing about her seems outwardly wrong, you can see the guests are making an effort to avoid her. You scrutinize the other guests, their darting glances, concealed whispers. Someone attempts to approach her, but suddenly thinks better. Are they intimidated by her? You take a healthy sip of wine. This sounds like the absolute perfect reason to go talk to somebody. She's not bad. You start walking towards her. She stares at you with surprising intensity, like she's studying you. Feeling unnerved, you're starting to understand where all this intimidation business is coming from, but you can't stop now. Who might you be? My name is Yvette Duclos, madame. Ah. What's that? Merveilleuse? Merveilleuse? Marvelous. It's nice to meet someone equal parts straightforward and adorable. Ah. Madame Gazelle. My name is Honorade Gazelle, but you may simply call me Honorade. I'm glad you came over. I was starting to grow bored, and life is too frightfully short to allow for such a thing. Well, I wonder what inspired you to come speak with me. You stood out from the crowd. I found it intriguing. I have a tendency to do that, don't I? I'm glad I brought you over instead of driving you away. I can already tell you're quite intriguing yourself. Yes, favor. Of course, I can't blame the other guests for not speaking with me. After all, most of them have never seen me before. It See, I tend to prefer more intimate gatherings. My husband attended these parties in my stead. Of course, that's no longer possible, but we all have our obligations. She smiles and sips her water. She doesn't have wine. However, obligations are tiresome conversation. I'd rather see the passion. What are your passions, Yvette? I want what I deserve, but I'll do anything to get it. Passion is itself what drives me. I want excitement. I want to feel. To be honest, I'm just here because I wanted to get away from home. Top one. Ambitious one, are we? We'd appreciate that sentiment. There's certainly some allure to the finer things in life, she replies, running the back of her hand against the sumptuous taffeta of her dress. However, I'd caution against putting too much faith in the trappings of a good life. No amount of trappings will ever make the heart of something whole. It's up to you to discover for yourself. The conversation continues for quite a while. It's delicious, romantic, and edgy. It's almost theatrical in its over-the-topness. However, you get the feeling that's just how Honorade is. Out of the corner of your eye, you notice a man in the livery of a servant wearing a small black armband, trying to politely get Honorade's attention. He seems to have something quite a difficult time pulling her attention away from you. Eventually, she notices him. Ah, that's my servant Renee. I'm sorry, Yvette, I'm needed somewhere else. Very good. Would you mind doing me a favor? When we first met, I introduced myself as Honorade, she says with a devilish smile. I think I'd prefer you to call me Madame Giselle from now on. Should you do that for me? Sure. Marvelous, she replies. Thank you for indulging me, Yvette. I hope to see you again soon. Then, in a swirl of black taffeta, she turns and leaves. Don't know what to make of her yet. Ah, Honorade favor. Speaking to Johanna. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Johanna du Jardin. That's the woman Armand has been associating with us of late. Bonne soirée, Yvette. Fancy meeting you here. Oh, I hate her face. She is 100% a villain. Fancy seeing you here as well. It's always a pleasure to see you and Madame Giselle. Step into the conversation and Madame Giselle gives you a hidden smile. Genuinely glad to have your company. Yeah. As I was saying before, continues Johanna, as she flags at a servant and requests 3 glasses of wine. Oh, we only have need of those 2, says Honorade quietly, but the servant doesn't seem to notice her. Instead, he generously fills 3 glasses and sets them down on the table in front of you. What I saw in Austria when I was there, it was fascinating. The Holy Roman Emperor has enacted reforms focused on social progress and stability. I'm sure you already know that stability is a necessary part of any growing economy. Johanna doesn't seem to notice, but Honorade isn't paying attention. She's just staring at the wine in front of her, clutching tightly to the glass of water in her hand. What's wrong? Do you not like this particular vintage? No, it's just that she replies distantly, swallowing hard. I know, let's have a toast. Johanna takes the glass and holds it aloft. How about to cooperation and prosperity? Medium amount of peril. Let's hold off that toast. I'd like to hear more specifics about what you saw in Vienna. What? Of course, we can avoid the pleasantries if you'd like to focus on the fine details. Honorade looks visibly relieved and removes her wine glass to a far empty table while Johanna isn't looking. It gains some favor with the widow. Johanna proceeds to recite an absolutely dizzying list of exciting and inspiring news out of Vienna. You get caught up in her enthusiasm. By the end of it, you're practically ready to swear fealty to the Holy Roman Emperor yourself. Abruptly, she pulls out a pocket watch from her bodice, clucks her tongue. I'm sorry, ladies, but excuse me. I have an appointment I must keep. With that, Johanna departs for a different section of the party. For a long pause, Madame Giselle says, Thank you, Yvette. I really appreciate your help. Don't think about it. It was nothing. Well, it was something to me, she replies, sounding put off. No! Listen to me, she rolls her eyes. I'm supposed to be the one who's powerful, cool, and in command. You can be all those things and still be human. Thank you, I needed to hear that. Yay. You and Madame Gazelle chat together for a little while longer before parting ways. While the worst has been avoided, she still looks exhausted by the thought of what could have been. Look around the party, checking to see if there's anything else you can do before the end of the evening. God, there's 3 things now. Gentleman is currently in the process of smothering one Madame Gazelle with advice. Well, she would clearly rather be somewhere else. Yes. We are gonna take care of the widow. Spot Madame Gazelle across the room. She's with a man who seems very excited to speak with her. Those are expensive, and he's the only one excited about this conversation. She looks absolutely apathetic. Seeing an opportunity, you decide to approach them. Though some might consider it a simple industry, there's a lot more complexity to wallpaper importing than one might imagine. He says, before favoring Honorade with a sly wink. And where there's misunderstanding, there's profit. Oh wow, that's absolutely fascinating. I've never considered that before. She is lying. However, I'd hate to take up too much of your time with this talk about business. This is a social event, after all. I'm sure you have a lot to attend to. He grins even wider and replies, oh, don't worry about yourself. My schedule is entirely open. In fact, Oh, Ben, is that you? I've never been so glad to see you before. Have you met Monsieur Hervat? I'm sorry to interrupt, Madame Gazelle, but don't we have an appointment to keep? The banker looks puzzled by this new development. Yes, how could I have been so forgetful? Yvette and I have some business we need to attend to. My apologies, Monsieur, but we must go. With that, she puts a hand on your waist and leads you both away from the banker before you can formulate a proper objection. Monsieur, you are a lifesaver. If I had to tolerate that any longer, I would have gouged my own eyes out. You have gained decent favor with Honorade. And the worst part of all this is that I actually do need advice on what I should be doing with Charles' fortune. I never took enough interest in the specifics of his work, and now I'm floundering. So wait. Why didn't you listen to him, then? Option 2, I mean, if you need advice so much, I could always bring him back. That's been enough business talk, and I'd rather discuss me and you. That feels callous. Like... 1 doesn't feel right. 2 is teasing, but she might not like it. And 3 is just... no. I'm gonna go with teasing. Oh, don't you dare. If there's going to be any sort of displays of wanton cruelty, I'll be the one doing them. Hey, favor up. Without a word, her loyal servant Renee interrupts with a look on his face that suggests something important needs to be addressed. Honorade sighs and responds with a silent gesture of her own. The servant hands you a bone-colored business card. There's no name printed on it, merely an address. Well, it appears I must go. You should write me a letter. I would love to see you in a place where none of these people are able to interrupt us. That is, if you're amenable to such company. Rendezvous with Madame Gazelle is now available. Discover suitable locations on the Paris map so you can invite her out. Oh, this just keeps getting better and better. You take time to savor the scent hanging in the air before tucking her business card into your bonnet and returning to the rest of the party. $12 Honorade favor. We have another party today. This isn't great, but I'll do what I can with it. Enter the party. And there's Elizabeth. What is this? The architect Christoph is locked in a conversation about noble privileges that he doesn't want to be in. Well, I could help Christoph. I didn't realize he was somebody who would show up here. I'm going to help Elizabeth. Find yourself in a conversation with Elizabeth and an animated young gentleman. His manners are honestly a little lacking. He seems to make up for it in his exuberance. Wait a minute, I knew I recognized you, Madame Ducot. Aren't you the woman the Viscountess de Foix invited to a party just to humiliate them? You've lost some credibility. His next comment disappears mid-sentence as his attention is captured by someone passing by. Pardon me, ladies, but is the Duchess de Gramont just arrived? I absolutely must speak with her. Well, you're off to throw your affections at some beautiful young thing already. Not exactly. However, my family is in dire straits and she is fabulously wealthy. So that he leaves to go to initiate a transactional romance of sorts the world has honestly seen quite a few of already. Ugh, it already feels like everything is coming apart at the seams. Everyone's just scrambling for whatever crumbs they can find. What if His Majesty really can't keep France together? I have my daughter Julie to think about, and does the Crown even have any friends left, or are we really just sailing on a ship that's disintegrating in a storm? No matter what you say, whoever Elizabeth ends up reaching out to will gain a small boost of power from her trust alone, even if it doesn't necessarily shift their loyalty. Hasn't the Church always been close to the Crown? The military has always served His Majesty. The bourgeoisie just want to be the nobility. Surely you're in their good graces. Military. Really think I should reach out to the military? It does seem like a good idea. Last I heard, at least, they still cared for us. Hopefully that still holds true. Well, regardless, I should still reach out to the military. No matter what their opinion of His Majesty, perhaps they're just like me. They'll just like me, personally. Military power up. The conversation continues for a little while longer, but you can tell that Elizabeth's attention has become focused instead on your suggestion. You excuse yourself and you're left to your own devices once more. Perhaps there's something else you can still accomplish at the party. Like, go talk to her again! You'd think she was alone if she wasn't hissing angrily into a tree. Something appears to be wrong. Follow out in the garden. You notice shapes that might be following each other and realize the young couple giggling furtively between themselves as they disappear together into the hedge maze. It's safe to assume they'll be occupied with that for a while. Okay, yeah. Now you're alone with Elizabeth. Finally catch up with her. She's circling a tree, staring pensively into its branches. It's a fine tree. Are you looking to study it for painting? What are you looking for? Do you need help to find anything? She looks you over and laughs distractedly. I suppose it is quite beautiful. However, I'm looking for something other than natural beauty at the moment. My daughter, Julie, wanted to come with me tonight, so I brought her, but then ran into a political client. I've gotten so distracted sitting on a meeting with him that I stopped paying attention to her. Of course, I've gotten bored and wandered off. I know how much she likes climbing trees, and a few moments ago I thought I saw her little legs scurrying up this one. Now that I'm out here, though, I can't see her at all. I know why she was so insistent on wearing that dark green dress tonight. Here's some parenting advice. Never spend an evening teaching your curious, precocious daughter about color theory. Apparently all she'll learn from it is how to camouflage herself. I love this woman. She's great. I shouldn't have brought her here, she says, frustrated and defeated. Don't be so hard on yourself. You just wanted your daughter to have fun. Merci beaucoup. It's nice to know that at least someone here thinks I'm doing the right thing. Yeah, favor up. I always attended these things by myself because I'm really here to find new clients to paint. Unfortunately, Julie doesn't understand that. She just knows that Maman is going to another fancy ball with all the queens and princesses every time she begs me to let her come along. Why are children always so eager to grow up? Well, she asked me again today and I let her win. After I thought that maybe she was old enough. Now I can't find new clients. And my own daughter probably thinks that my life is stupid and boring. Sitting there trying to find something to say, but you honestly found your parents' own lives pretty boring yourself. That's part of the reason why you're here. However, you're saved by the sound of rustling branches overhead. Come on, I'm thirsty, says the voice from up the tree. Jean, Lucy, Louis, de Bourdon. Is that you up there? No, I am just a bird. A bird who is thirsty. Mondu, Julie. Do you have any idea how long I was worried? How worried I was? Come down here right now. I swear I will climb up there if I have to, she says, slowly hiking up her skirt. Might be a good idea to intervene before Elizabeth is caught scaling a tree. Julie, come down now. Your mother is worried and she needs to make sure you're safe. Child, do not test me. I will cut down this tree if I have to. I mean, you can stay up there if you don't want to slice at the queen's cake. I'd love to have it. Ooh, I like all these answers, actually. The top one's really not going to convince Julie. I'd love to yell at the child, I will cut this tree down. But the last one might actually get the kid to come down. I mean, you can stay up there, but if you don't want to slice the queen's cake, I'd love to have it. What? There's a queen's cake? I mean, it's covered in special icing and honey flowers you're not allowed to have anywhere else. Maybe you're not old enough for... Elizabeth chimes in. No, wait, I'm coming. Julie scurries down the tree and returns to her mother. Elizabeth mouths a silent thank you to you while she cleans some of the twigs and dirt off her errant daughter's dress. You gained favor with Elizabeth. Julie has lost favor with Elizabeth. I can drop the daughter's favor with her mother? What the... What does that mean? What is that mechanic supposed to do? Am I gonna get somebody disowned? What the... Game, I am confused and a bit scared by my own power. With her daughter finally secured and accounted for, Elizabeth heads inside for the rest of the party in order to find some cake that looks suitably royal. You're left to your own devices and decide to head inside as well, where the couple that disappeared into the hedge maze starts making too much noise. We go from a serious moment to one about like, man, that couple's gonna be real loud in the bushes. The 6 favor with Elizabeth. I like that. And I got gossip to sell. And I need to sleep. Thank God you arrived. We need stories about the military. Let's see what I can do. Pedal influence. Church to the crown. Increase or decrease the power of the church. Increase or decrease the power of the crown. I sold a bunch all at once. That might bite me in the butt later. And my peril's up. I sold too much at once. No! So much credibility! Ah, Honorade, would you please join me on the 18th of May for a day spent in La Grande Taverne de Lunders? Lunders? Accepting will reward you with 1 favor. Yeah. I see. I am sleeping today because I am already at 3 exhaustion. Bourgeois. There's nothing else later yet. And what do we have out about here? I'm not going to do anything. It's about a certain wealthy widow making inquiries with the creator of bespoke furniture. Members of the Good Royal and the military as to who has the true authority in the streets of Paris. That sounds not good. The waitress of Cafe Principals appears to be having an emergency. The perils of journalism. Home. rest. I have 3 levels of exhaustion and 2 dates coming up. The relaxation is interrupted by the sound of someone banging on your door like a drum. I'll get it. Madame, there's a man outside who wishes to speak with you. Oh, good. An unsavory man with a pistol. Mon Dieu, is that a gun? Don't worry, mademoiselles. I shall make this quick. You ordered some false letters that damage the reputation of some very powerful people. My boss has kept meticulous records linking you to the misdeed and would have easily time exposing you to the authorities. However, none of us want to go through with that kind of trouble, so my boss is willing to help you out by holding on to these letters for a mere 30 lira a week. Sounds like a real bargain. You are now being blackmailed. I mean, look at this place. I don't have the money. Do you think my boss is going to accept that answer? We're the ones you have you in a vice, not the other way around. Back next week. Make sure you're ready. Oh, madame, I am so sorry. She never should have let him in. Yes, you're right. Be more discerning next time. Oh, I didn't actually get the benefits of arrest! No. Oh, that's so bad. Come here. Wine tasting with the bourgeois. This. I could lose Honorade or lose Alex's favor. That has a unique design there. Or not, because there's a person right over here. Cheaper shocking gossip. And a dark mirror. I mean, this is Johanna. Let's see what's up with this. Johanna is approaching you. She's holding on the arm of a particularly powerful gentleman. And you can tell she's the one guiding his steps, not the other way around. You bet, I can't believe you're here, she says, a note of excitement in her voice. I was just telling this final gentleman about you. And you look like such a snake, lady. It's such a shame to hear about how the Viscountess de Foix absolutely humiliated you in front of all those people. I can't imagine how awful it is to endure such vile debasement. Truly unfortunate. I remember hearing of this, such unfortunate business, he says with pity, which is not exactly the emotion you hope to inspire in people tonight. Of course, didn't you manage to reveal that perfidious Marcelle woman to be a pretender to her title? Who can really trust the opinions of such a creature? I'm certain her attacks on your character were as false as her name. Credibility up. Well, all things considered, you've done well for yourself. In a provincial village such as yours, I can see why Armand would have taken quite a liking to you. And again, I can imagine it's easier to be so ambitious when you have nothing to lose. It's true, I make sure that there's very little in my life to weigh me down. Spoken truly like a woman who's always had resources to work with. What makes you think I have nothing to lose? That's true. I've actually been spoken a little, she says. You and I are both quite aware of a few things you certainly couldn't do without. It's such a pity you're destined to be disappointed in that regard. Gain some peril. Oh, my glass seems to have run terribly dry. Monsieur, would you mind fetching me a drink? Oh, but of course, Madame Dujardin. But he departs, leaving you alone with Johanna. She wastes no time stepping closer and in a low voice. Looking at the greater picture, I know I shouldn't be bothered by you. In fact, we should have absolutely zero interest in each other. Merely two women trying to make our own lives better. However, whether I like it or not, I find my own thoughts drawn to you, about how quickly your star has already risen. Think of how achieving those very same advancements took me years. The way she sounds years, it sounds like a jagged scar being reopened. I simply don't know what to do with you. This needn't end in open hostility, Johanna. You know that. I can't tell if this is a threat or romantic advance. Either way, let's get it over with. I like that second one, I just don't want a bunch of peril.
Huh.
Oh, is Armand's fiancé trying to extend the knowledge branch? She's asked, scrutinizing you further. I don't think so. I've seen enough knives slipping people's back to know when I shouldn't lower my guard. I'm a little too smart for that. I'm not certain if she's being metaphorical about those knives. Oh, damn it. No, I didn't actually want to click that. Damn it. Memories about Armand. And after Armand had left for Estates General, but you're yet to leave for Paris. Instead, you walked around the cold reading his letter over and over again. This particular one had been puzzling you a while. In retrospect, his letters have been going stranger for some time. It was much easier to notice such warning signs long after the point when they would have been useful. Dwelling on such failures has never helped anyone. Warning signs like that gentleman named Charles who accosted the two of you during your last night with Armand. Chère Yvette, my heart aches to see you with an ever-growing ardor I'm scarcely able to control. I'm surrounded by companions here, but without you I feel alone. Whenever I find myself engaging with persons other than my sponsors, I find myself exasperated. So many powerful people calmly discussing the state of the nation as if it were a tennis match, as though there were only two possible victors, yet the outcome had no real meaning. Individuals like that cannot be allowed to steer the fate of our people. If we are presented with two bad options, we must force a third. To put it simply, it feels like France's ship hurtling towards a rocky shore and nobody's at the wheel. This awareness of imminent catastrophe is the main unifying thread that binds our little group together. Our leader is the only one who isn't worried. She works feverishly but betrays no sign of fear. I think you would like her immensely. You two share a lot in common. Did our fiancé just compare us to the crazy bitch Yvette? That ain't right. She is nuts and we are a queen. Our leader, you puzzled this over. Who is this woman that Armand was referencing in his letter? Is this perhaps that Johanna person you've met recently? Of course, in the name of Building's coalition, I've had to partake in the company of several extremely unpleasant individuals. It's perhaps the only reason I'm glad you're not here, as I would hate to inflict their judgmental presence upon you. Even when I finally travel home from the intermittent dinners at their grand estates, I still feel like I'm being watched. I know I've said it before, but I really wish you were here. I know there are things I'm not seeing, things that you would notice instantly. As all I can be certain of is that we're racing against an unseen clock. To put it simply, the people of France are hungry, and hungry people do not remain hungry for long. To embrace, Armand. Reconsidering these memories in a new light is unpleasant but also grounding. You feel a little more prepared for whatever comes next. You've lost peril and gained credibility. The more I think about this, the worse it gets. I am in a den of vipers. This dour assessment, you decide to engage with the world around you once more. The memory drifts away like the waning moments of a dream. However, you still accomplish something in this part. You might still accomplish something in this party before the night is over. Oh, there are 4 rounds here. Gossip. Architect. Coins. Yeah, I'm gonna modify my stats a little bit here. You come across the architect Christoph, who's talking with some nobleman about taxation. I'm certain I was drawn into this conversation, but judging by his barely concealed frustration, you get the feeling it was no intent of her own. Really, I must go. All I was saying earlier is that if the nobility of France have most of the money, then functionally pays no taxes, it's plain to see how such a thing could never last, no? Eventually, something's going to break. Nonsense, you'll see soon enough, the nobleman chuckles. intercepting Kristoff as he's about to leave. Such arraignments are the bedrock of a just monarchy. Think, how many kingdoms of Europe are balanced just such a way? None, monsieur. No other kingdoms all of Europe allow the nobility such a privilege. They haven't for a very long time. Perhaps there's a reason for that. Proud traditionalist. Yes, well, that's because of our unique tradition. You foreigners simply don't understand. Monsieur, why don't you leave me alone with Kristoff? I'm sure I can convince him. You should take care of this for me? Ah, splendid. It's nice to have someone who knows how important my time is, he says, suddenly coming to the conclusion. It is he who is the one being inconvenienced all along. You've lost Peril. He disappears to badger someone else, and Kristoff waits until he's entirely gone before turning to you. Normally I'd relish the opportunity to verbally trounce someone like that, but you just saved me from myself a bit, so you have my thanks. Yay, credibility. Cheap gossip. 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 Yeah, this one. Find yourself chatting with an interesting pair of women. They manage their own personal fortunes and are trying to invest in businesses across the city to grow their wealth. This causes them no shortage of stress. Cheap bourgeois goods. So, everything's going with your new tea importer you've been looking to invest in. It's going to be easy, but of course something had to come up and get in the way of everything. Not in the trivial details, this is exactly what you need. Oh, please keep going. I'm always willing to learn. Oh, let's go forward. Little credibility. They start explaining the latest issues among the bourgeoisie. As far as you can tell, every functioning business in Paris is connected in some way or another. One of them starts running into issues, it ripples out everything else. Sometimes you feel like you've never really left your village. Every day was always bumping into one another and being rebuked for inconveniencing people they've barely ever given a thought to. Everyone is connected, so they all feel like they're allowed to judge you for your decisions. You chime in a few observations of your own, but otherwise let them talk while you try and take in as much detail as possible. Gossip is easy when it's people you know. When you don't, it's a difficult task just to get the details straight. A shocking piece of bourgeoisie gossip. And at the end of the time, make a graceful exit. As you leave, they regard you with a wary fascination. They're so unused to outsiders taking any interest at all that they can't understand why anyone would care about the details of their concerns. Shocking gossip. Hot air balloons. Yeah, minus 12 to credibility. Down a little bit of peril, but... Why didn't Hans save me from that guy with the gun? Oh god, minus 20 penalty. Rendezvous! Alright, definitely need a new outfit here. Yeah, she's nobility. Madame Gazelle is here to see you. Don't worry, I'll delay her until you're ready. A few moments later, they enter together, with Camille trailing behind Madame Gazelle. Their hapless maid is carrying a large parcel with a bow on it. Madame, you have to understand, I tried to stop her. It's true, it was a very sweet attempt, she admits, reassuring Camille with a light pat on her cheek. Satisfied, she sets her focus on you. Bonsoir, Yvette. I've come bearing gifts. This parcel is placed in your hand, she continues. This morning I realized that we're almost the same size. I also know that you, ever the social butterfly, is always looking for novel outfits to wear at parties. Ooh. I looked through my wardrobe and found something that will look a lot better on you than it does on me. In fact, how would you feel about wearing it tonight? I have turned down a nice gift and I won't start now. Are you sure that's the only reason you're in my room while I'm still half naked? I will be polite. I had a feeling you liked being spoiled. Gained favor with her. Go ahead and open it. Reveal a gorgeous black silk dress. Expensive, revealing, and it feels in line with the bourgeoisie. You've been gifted Honorade's outfit. Pulls a pocket watch from her bodice and takes note before putting it away. It seems like I've already taken too much of your time. If we want to make it to the rendezvous tonight, you'll need some help getting ready. Don't worry, madame. That's something I can... That won't be necessary. Your mistress and I shall attend to this ourselves. Wait, did she just straight up crack the glass? She did. She got angry and cracked the glass. Without another word, Madame Gazelle firmly but politely ushers Camille out of the room. As I was saying, let's get you ready. Of course, this isn't the first time anybody helped you get dressed before. However, those occasions were about comfort and efficiency. A ribbon tied here, a pin placed there, you were the one in control. This is different, being pulled this way and that, being fussily primmed and preened without any consolation to you whatsoever. You're not the one in control here. All that seems to matter is whether your appearance pleases her. Thank her? Yeah. I'm glad you're grateful, she replies with a contented smile. I've always enjoyed dressing others up like this, even when I was a child. Of course, I had no idea why I was doing any of it back then. I just knew that I liked it. I liked being in control of all the details and liked it even more when they fought back, but I still got my way. Gained a little favor with the much more clearly defined Madame Gazelle. Look at yourself in the mirror and you have to admit Honorade has good taste. She spent some time adjusting your bodice, but before you know it, these adjustments slowly turned into something firmer, more sensual. Yet the moment you submit to her touch, she pulls away, leaving you wanting more. Shall we go? She asks innocently, as if it was all in your imagination. Oui, Madame Gazelle. Do you always dress up girls in your clothes before you romance them, or am I just special? Are you sure, Madame Gazelle? Perhaps we should just stay in. I have to go. Oh, that is tempting, she leans close to whisper in your ear. I've already spent far too much effort to have the world miss out on how perfect I've made you look. So you will do exactly as I say, do you understand? Good, I'm glad we understand each other. You in favor with Madame Gazelle? Yeah. She's got one thing on her mind. And it's disgusting, and I am here for it. Let's go be scandalous together. Together, the three of you head out where Renee is waiting for you with Madame Gazelle's carriage. She holds the door open for you, and soon the two of you are whisked off to your destination. After spending the first half of the day getting ready, you head out for your rendezvous. Unfortunately, you can feel the exhaustion set in as soon as you step out the door. Tonight is going to be long. Yeah, I know. Your first time visiting the fine dining room of Le Grande Taverne Londres. A few aristocrats glance up at their tables, take your measure before returning to their splendid food. This is now available as a rendezvous location. Ever since you arrived together, she has been standing far closer than the rules of politeness might allow. It's easy to forget how good she is at looming over people. Oh, this is quite pleasing, she says, looking at you through narrowed eyes. She slowly circles you like a panther. You've done quite well. You've gained a staggering amount of favor with Madame Gazelle. Turning her attention from you, she surveys your location. I absolutely adore this place. The food is exquisite, the lavish decor is excellent, and you know how much I love being served. You gained some favor with Madame Gazelle. It seems that Madame Gazelle already knows the staff quite well, and they have a solid rapport. She orders for you, but the food they give you is exquisite. At one point, the owner, Monsieur Beauvilliers, comes out to speak with you, the both of you. He cuts a comical figure with a portly statue, twinkling eye, and a sword on his hip. It seems that he and Madame Gazelle know each other quite well, as he has a special dessert brought into your table as a gift. The two of you split it, but she lets you have the lion's share. A few hours later, you realize it's starting to get late, and the two of you depart together. Looking at Madame Gazelle, it feels like today went quite well. sleep. God is my witness. I need to sleep. Fine, I'll pay the son of a bitch. Yes, I need to put a stop to this immediately. Huzzah, it's just a matter of time, madame. Mate is right. Settling this, into this position of defeat isn't like you at all. And the way out of this is to strike directly at the heart of the problem, and you know exactly what that is. Tidying up loose ends is now available on the Paris map. You know where you need to go, just not in the light of day. Motherfuck, I need to sleep. Home. Sleep. I have 5 levels of exhaustion. Church gossip. Alright. I should have some gossip to sell from the party. I'll definitely need the money. I just need the money. Trader's master of letters has extorted you for the last time. After hours, you head to his office to find some way to extract yourself from this terrible situation. You shall not be taken advantage of. Come, Hans, we're killing a man. You find yourself at the address. Oh. Yes, Hans. Representatives to the back. Gained a little peril. Look inside. Crowded but organized desk, a strangely placed painting, and a rug that's been left askew. Painting. Door safe. Check the rug. Open space, revealing a small cloth bag, stash of coins, money, and check the desk. Some there were forgeries, but a few were genuine. Shocking revolution gossip. Continue a thorough search and find a strange note written on paper. Sequence of 5 numbers. Check the painting again. find the correspondence. You disappear into the night. Oh boy, I built up so much peril. Because I looked at things in the wrong order. But I have money, and I can definitely get another dress to help me out with stuff. My God. Okay, so I didn't like those. Is the right time? Yeah, let's load this again and see if the dresses change from visit, like when they load up. They do. They alter as you load the shop. Purchase that. Sell this old dress. Ah, good bourgeoisie dress. God, they do look good in that. So that's the crown, the church, the military. Also the military, but a little bit of the bourgeois. This is the bourgeoisie, and then I'm not courting the revolution, so I don't care. Please if you join me on the 25th of May for a day here. Accept. Declining this will cost you a favor. Accepting this will award you a favor. Okay, so in 2 days. I have no... I have no events tomorrow. I have no exhaustion. Is there anything that can drop my peril numbers? Only thing that'll have an effect on peril at all, and it's just -5. Let's go here and order coffee and update some information. Coffee. Coffee can reduce exhaustion but cannot make you well rested. Keeps trying to use verses in the Bible to justify the church's right to avoid taxation, but it's hard to hear when the sound of cheering patrons. back to the church. Okay. Good morning, madame. The rent is due. Merci beaucoup. And I got 1 day left before double parties, arrest day, party, arrest day, party. Shocking gossip. I'm not gonna have any time to tell that gossip though. Because I've got 2 events in a row, then 1 day to rest before going to another event. It'll be several days to like sell anything. Let's see what we can do with this. Walk around the city hoping to stumble across something new that might help you. Oh, hey, a new character design. Michael. Oh, yes, in fact, I am. Pleased to meet you at last. You've gained a little credibility. I am Michael Pelletier. I'm a chemist in training in general bonveillance. I hear unofficial reporter for Le Trompe de Pou. In the name of 2 experiments I'm performing, I have a lead for you. In fact, I might have 2. Which would you prefer to know more about, the crown or the revolution? How about the crown?
Oh-ho!
A wise choice. Tells you about some of the more interesting going on among the aristocrats close to the crown. At first, you were skeptical of the quality. Find yourself surprised. This could actually be quite valuable. Shocking crown gossip. That our business is concluded. Rendezvous? Yeah, there's only one thing we can wear to our girl's thing. And that's her outfit. Spending the first half of the day getting ready, you head out for your rendezvous. You see she arrived long before you. Noticing you, she approaches and stands far closer than the rules of politeness might allow. Forgotten how good she is at winning over people. This is stunning. Oh, this is very pleasing. You've done well. Need a stagger amount of favor with Madame Gazelle. I adore this place. The food is exquisite. Gain some favor. It's the same thing as before. Ooh, after the rendezvous, she insists on giving you a ride back to your home. She's more energetic than usual. Yvette, what would you do if you suddenly had a vast fortune? Establish several income streams and use leftovers to bury myself in an avalanche of luxury. I'd relax. After all, I could finally stop worrying about money. Wealth is influence. With that wealth, I could bend the world to my liking. I couldn't agree more. One can only have so many things. Beyond that, wealth is for shaping the world. Every day we say a thing like a day's wage or it's worth my time. Money has always been the hours of human lives wrapped into numbers. Something that precious should be used carefully to build something better. Favor up. Of course, you already know none of my questions are truly idle. In the last few weeks, I've been doing my best in learning how to manage my sudden fortune. I finally feel like getting to know what I'm doing. And no, I didn't put any money into wallpaper importing. Crack the glass again. I reached a point where I know I'm safe to make my own decisions, but it doesn't feel like Charles' fortune anymore. I retired to my home, and it doesn't feel like his house anymore. Everything truly feels mine. And something about that leaves me feeling torn. You're afraid you're forgetting him? You should have felt like that to begin with. It was always yours. And I think she'll like that answer. Don't presume to tell me. Yeah, she didn't like that at all. Je suis désolé. That was harsh of me. What I mean to say is I am not naive. I know how the laws govern property. I know who made the money in our marriage. As indulgent towards me as Charles was, everything was ultimately his decision. All the power was his. In fact, the only reason I have any power at all is because he died. Of course, I can finally make fantasies, but I don't have as a purpose. The very nature of being wealthy means my decisions affect a world much bigger than my own, even when I don't intend to. But all I've determined is that I should be doing something with my fortune other than indulging myself. After all, I have you for that. Sneeze. Every day I feel like Paris is being pulled between such different visions for the future. And I think the revolutionaries are right. They're the people, and so am I. Absolutely, the people are the lifeblood of France. Without their liberty, we have nothing. I think you're absolutely right. Are you sure once they topple the nobility, who will they turn on next? Not great stats for this, but... A few moments are quiet as she sits deep in thought. You're right. As noble as the revolutionaries' intentions are, they're simply too dangerous. I need to devote my spare funds to support suitably monarchist causes. The bourgeoisie has moved towards the crown by quite a lot. This is the kind of savvy I appreciate in you. I'd also like to thank you for your patience. Imagine most of your past romantic dalliances don't involve someone bringing up their departed spouse so much. Oh, so she's admitting it. Nice. Now, considering I'm wearing her clothes, that I'm kind of admitting it too, but at least for your sake, I hope not. Don't worry, it's new to me, but that doesn't mean that it's wrong. I have to admit it can be a little overwhelming sometimes. Actually, would you mind telling me more about Charles? I like that. You rush forward in your seat as the carriage comes to a halt. Pulling aside the dark curtains, you see that you've arrived home. Renee opens the door, helps you down out of the carriage. As you turn around to say goodbye, you notice Madame Gazelle's hand hanging down in front of you expectingly. Kiss the back of her hand. Good girl, she murmurs low. She presses her lips against yours, gently squeezing the back of your head with her free hand. Her touch is gentle but firm. Damn right I gained quite a bit of favor with Madame Gazelle. I may go for now. I will avail myself of you again soon enough. But then you turn around to realize Camille has been standing there the entire time. Standing still as she holds the door open for her, her cheeks flush red. Did you enjoy yourself, madame? I did, immensely. I did what needed to be done, nothing more, nothing less. Why, Camille, is that jealousy I hear in your voice? I will save scum this. But, no, of course not, madame. I'm simply not sure if a woman of your station should let themselves be handled like that, she says, failing to meet your gaze for the entire sentence. It feels suspiciously incomplete, but you let it pass, for now. God, how much favor do I have with her? Oh, I have a kiss on her thing right now. The church is wildly in allegiance with the crown. The military is as well, and it's the strongest of the lesser powers. Bourgeoisie is still leaning towards the revolution. Yeah, this stuff is not going to be very good for much longer. And this is a party with the bourgeoisie. Yeah, I need my best outfit. Straight there. That's up. Pay the post. Now let the games begin. Gossip stuff. Study. Credibility and potentially very good gossip. You blame me for the cross of the bridge. I visited the worksite myself and I saw the supplies you'd sold the builders. The stones had enough cracks in them to resemble a spider's web. Of course my design didn't hold up. Materials, my complete supplied with as poor as you say. Even if they were, every business has a right to save itself money wherever possible. Yeah, right. Even listening to yourself, you trade your very soul to the devil for a few coins. I think you'd struck a better bargain. Listen here, you Austrian cur. You don't have the right to speak to me like that. Right. Peril. Let's try it. Everything suggests we live something so serious. Perhaps we can part ways and simply be icily polite to each other from now on. I find these terms agreeable as long as I never have to work with you again. Vaguely satisfactory, I suppose it prevents us from causing a scene. Thank you, Madame Ducot. Oh, good. Credibility up, peril down. And there's Honorade. Influence her decision. Yes. To the flow of the party and the very rigorous ones. Da-da-da-da. Not that neither of you mind. Yeah. Dearest Mies, for all their complaints about the aristocracy, there are more than enough powerful members of the bourgeois who clearly want to become the new nobility. They play at revolutionary talk and preach about fairness, but they're not really opposed to the order of the ancien regime, merely who is running it. As if titles bought with money were more virtuous than ones bought with blood. I must admit that most aristocrats I've spoken to are tiresome bores. They get some kind of carnal thrill from reminding you of their privileged station. I met some wonderful counterexamples, but it feels like exceptions that prove the rule. Regardless, I'm not certain who I should be making entreaties to. All the Paris is picking sides. It'd be nice to reach out to someone we already have a good relationship with. If she reaches out to, we surely gain her support, but she might react poorly to suggesting someone who has a poor relationship with the bourgeoisie at the moment. Crown? Want to push her in the direction of the revolution.
Huh. Mm-hmm.
I'm in favor with her. Given the direction of everything's heading, I should start positioning myself sooner rather than later. Some appears being a sufferer isn't the reason to make poor political decisions. The bourgeoisie has moved towards the revolution a little. but I also didn't want to fail. Gossip. Peril. Honorade. Everything's either increasing peril. Everything from my business partner in the bourgeoisie. Army. So they can't talk about that. Military.
Huh.
Shocking military gossip. She has no real sense of discretion. Corporal Dumas, favor down. Well, he passed away, unfortunately. Captain was recently caught engaging in a staggering number of extramarital affairs. Yeah. So peril went down at least a little bit. Credibility helps. Political hobbyists of France has been a breathtaking folly events of the General States over the last few weeks. Watchful eyes led to a stunning revelation. The States General have currently accomplished absolutely nothing, while the King has attempted to keep the discussion on tax reform to deal with France's crumbling budget. Every single debate is stalled due to fights over voting rights and representation. Members of the third estate won't let the issue go, as they're the only estate that pays any taxes into the current system. However, attempts to change this would inevitably be shut down by the first and second estates, who both pay no taxes, and each have just as many votes as the third estate. Yet the nobility of the first estate have managed to maintain the upper hand. I thought they were the second. Yeah, the nobility should be the second estate, whereas the church is the first. They have the backing of tradition. Slowly, the third estate's continued demands for an unprecedented solution in regards to representation has made them sound like bickering children. The longer this impasse lasts, the more tension will build. However, if it keeps building, then it won't be long before something snaps. And so in Paris, life goes on. Gossip, I absolutely should sell. Visit location. Increase the power of the military. Increase the power of the crown. Let's leave for now. So I don't want to give him a whole bunch of stories and have people figure out it came from me. Alright. Let's go to the party. Jeez, I lost a bunch of points already. Straight there. Church gossip. Here's the thing. And the games begin. Shocking crown gossip. Sure, let's pick this one. I like her design. Little dragon in her hair. These are Nika Ikov, a foreign author, as well as Guillaume de Sable, self-styled libertine philosopher.
Huh.
Interesting. He glances you and raises an eyebrow. He knows his game is almost up. This choice will solve the problem via your fashionable tailor, Maurice. Pretty sure this will work. What, you were? Please tell me more. Starts fabricating outlandish tales of his exploits, which you were party to many. At some point in the tales, both you and he had apparently have had torrid affairs with lusty pirates of the Barbary coast, perhaps in the same vessel. Credibility down. Piece of outrageous bourgeoisie gossip. Outrageous church gossip. Yes. Anne's plan to spread rumors about you in order to set the Baron to... Oh, right, this one. I am Baron de Tot. Yeah, right, because this guy was spreading rumors about me, so we made up a rumor to bait and switch this guy. I've heard quite a bit about you, he says with the subtlety of a brick being hurled through a window. Lose credibility. I don't know what you've done to earn Ioana's ire, but she seems most pleased with my work. Yeah, that bitch. Even if I did you wrong, you just invent one. Doesn't matter. How dare you? How dare you treat me like some kind of fanciful fabricationist? Why, I'm the very Excusez-moi, monsieur, are you Baron de Tot? You see Anne raising her glass to you. Oui, oui, as my reputation spread so far. Mon Dieu, you're really willing to be in the company of Madame Ducot, despite the terrible joke that's being played on you. Oh, please, if there's anything a craven creature like Madame Ducot can say that would... What was that about a terrible joke? It's just that you were repeating those rumors about her, but it came out yesterday that everything in that story was completely false. Well, that was enough to scandalize a few in the room. In fact, you're pretty sure you heard someone dropping their glass. Wait, I have this on good authority that someone from this very room... Oh yes, Madame de Cromer made it up. You see how gullible you are, you know? A jape? Come now, Baron. You remember what a joke is, alright? Shocked you didn't recognize a joke. I mean, you are one after all. That one's mean. Baron, can we even be sure the other rumors you've been spreading are true? I don't see how that's relevant, he mumbles in reply. However, judging from some of the looks that you're seeing around the room, it feels quite relevant. Quite relevant indeed. The murmuring of the crowd gets louder and more insistent, shifting the chosen subject of their scorn in an instant. It appears your vindication is nigh. You've gained a lot of credibility. How awkward. Perhaps I should leave, the interloper says, starting to fall victim to a wave of sympathetic embarrassment that you are entirely immune to. She leaves, and the Baron is affecting you with a look of venomous hatred. His features swell up like a toad, ready to unleash some truly poisonous barb. Then he scuttles away without anything to say. Well, if he didn't want you to bring your vengeance upon him, he shouldn't have wronged you in the first place. Like a queen. Anne joins you, already handing you a fresh glass of white wine. A toast for the victors, eh? You take a long sip of wine and find it shockingly refreshing. This sort of story is exactly the sort that Pierre and his readers will love. There's something fitting about the idea of a propagator of tiresome false intrigues becoming a more enticing subject of a real one. Gained one piece of outrageous church gossip. Alright. Gossip. Bunch of different gossips. Let's see this one. Really need to take a quick break. You step away from the crowds and take a moment to just breathe. While you are composing yourself, a chambermaid approaches you. She's holding a small, unmarked pouch of coins. Quite a while, madame. I found this wallet while I was tidying up. I took it to my employer, but they don't recognize it. I've been told not to rest until the owner is found. Do you know who it might belong to? Otherwise... Mon Dieu, you found my wallet. I can only assume that half of it is mine and the other half is yours. Well, it is yours.
Huh.
I'm glad I found you, says Mumbles, obviously disappointed. Yeah, you just full online. Alright, outrageous bourgeois gossip. Some of Paris's foremost industrials have been trying to deregulate the price of bread. Is it to allow bakers to have the money to make more bread, or is it to profiteer off of hunger? A group of priests is raising money to buy large parcels of farmland from destitute farmers. Is it an act of relief or just expanding the church's ownership of France? I have 3 exhaustion. I need to rest today. I'm ignoring Armand. The 30th of May. Honorade. Alright. No, I think that's where I feel like ending it for the night. Got about 3 hours. Let's see if there's anybody good to raid. The list appears to be larger than I can see. Oh, there's a bunch of people online. Emmy is playing Chrono Trigger. Frozen Frost is playing A Story of Seasons. A couple other people that I have on my list, but I don't remember them that closely. I think I know who that is. Who's this person? You know what? Let's rate Angelina. She's got her 2-year, what is it, 2-year anniversary? Is that what she said on hers? Yeah, special event, 2-year anniversary. So yeah, let's rate Angelina. Nope, not what I wanted to click. Something I definitely should make sure of is she's not about to leave. Yeah. All right, we're going to raid Angelina, everybody. Be sure to wish her a happy 2-year anniversary. Next stream will be Saturday morning. I have Earthbound on the schedule. I might play Star Rail instead, though, because I have people talking in my ear. I might play Star Rail instead just because I'd like to pull in the gacha a little bit sooner rather than later. But we shall see. Anyway, I'll announce whatever changes I make on either, well, probably both Twitter and on Discord. Which, by the way, reminder, I have a Discord. We are slowly building a community there, but if you want to jump in and join us, that would be much appreciated. We're hanging out there. If you prefer to check out other social media sites, I have my list of socials here. Things will change probably over the course of the next few months with everything that's going on at Twitter, but I'll be keeping Linktree up and active. And then also, if you like watching stuff on YouTube, I do have clips, highlights, and VODs on there. I'm scheduled out through the end of July completely, and I just uploaded some content yesterday, I think, for August. So, should be a bunch of good stuff going up there. Anyway, we are going to hit that raid button for Angelina. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever it is in your part of the world. Take care, everyone, and I will see you again on Saturday. Bye-bye.